Umesema itaonekana hapa, itaonekana hizi notes. Hata notes zenye ninasoma hakuna haja. Good morning, Greenwald. Welcome to our health fellowship hour. We always have this fellowship hour right from Monday to Friday, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. And every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. we have a business and distributors training. And every day, and for everyday Zoom trainings, you can reach us on 071 158 821. We are located at the marketplace. That is a building that is in Naivasha along Moi Avenue Road and opposite Kenya Women Finance Trust or KWFT next to Jabis Hotel. Yeah, you can tune in and thank you for tuning in. You can follow us on Facebook as Versatile Team and on YouTube you can subscribe and we are Versatile Team again. So feel free to subscribe, feel free to comment, and welcome to have us learn together with you. Thank you very much. Today we are going to learn and have some very interesting topic on what we call the women, or something that we call the Greenwald uterus cleansing pill. Someone has called that the women's pulse. And the reason why we want to look at the uterus cleansing pill is because women are exposed to a lot of gynecological problems, maybe because of their makeup or the way they are made. And therefore, we're going to look at Greenwald uterus cleansing pill. Reason being, again, that the uterus is what we call the woman's inner palace. Right from puberty to pregnancy to menopause, women go through a journey. And the most important bit of the human, the woman is that the uterus is a place where human or life is created, not only created, it is nurtured, just to ensure that we have a future generation. So a woman goes through a cycle or goes through cycles. We have what we call the menstrual cycle. We have what we call the follicular phase. We have what we call the ovulation phase. And we have what we call the luteal phase. And we are saying that the uterus is the place where all these things take place in preparation for nurturing a life. I would like to maybe give some very astounding statistics, and one of the in as far as women's issues are concerned, and especially what we call cervical cancer. We say that the cervical cancer is the second most common cancer in women. In the world, we say that it is the seventh most common cancer diagnosed in women, such that we have 306 cases or new cases per year. That tells us that we almost have a case of cervical cancer diagnosed every day. Secondly, it is the second most prevalent kind of cancer in women, or rather, which the cancer that affects women who are under the age of 24 years. So maybe you can give the statistics because it is important. Women who are below 30 years, the prevalence of being diagnosed with cancer is 8%. Those that are between 30 and 39 years, The possibility of being diagnosed with cancer is 20%. Those who are 40, or between 40 and 49 years, the possibility of being diagnosed with cervical cancer is 25%. Those that are between 50 and 59 years, again, this possibility of cancer or cervical cancer is 21%. And those that are 60 years and above, the prevalence of cancer is 20%. I would like to say that we have some good news. And the good news is that most cervical cancers can be prevented, or cervical cancer can be prevented. So fact number one, most cervical cancers can be prevented. That is number one. And fact number two, one in approximately 100 women will develop cervical cancer by the age of 75. And fact number three, most cervical cancers, that is 99%, are caused by common viruses called the human papilloma virus, or what we call HPV. But remember, you said again that most cervical cancer can be prevented. That's a fact. And therefore, it is important for us to know that what we are dealing with is preventable. Maybe you just look at the development of cancer. So we have images here. We have the normal cervix. That is how it looks like. We have the early stages of cancer or cervical cancer. We can see that the cancer is spreading. We have the third stage of cancer. Again, it looks like it has spread. And when you look at 2B, then the cancer, it has not spread and it is outside the cervix. It has grown that much. So what are the cervical cancer awareness? I think this month comes, we always have a cervical cancer awareness month. That is January, where women go through what we call pap smear, and therefore the cancer can easily be detected in its early stages, and not just detected, it can be prevented. And we are saying that if it is arrested early, then it is possible to treat cancer. So we say that most women diagnosed with precancerous lesions in the cervix are in their 20s and 30s, but the average age of women when they are diagnosed with cervical, that is full-blown cervical cancer, they are diagnosed with full-blown cervical cancer in their mid-50s. Cervical cancer is slow growing. So its progression through the precancerous lesions provides opportunities for prevention, early detection, and treatment. I think that is some good news, that since it can be detected early, then it is possible, and then it is slow growing, then it is possible for prevention, it is possible to detect, and it is also possible to treat. That's why we are talking about the Greenwald uterus cleansing pill, which will go a long way in helping women not just treat but also detect the cancer and clear the uterus, such that the cancer does not even have room to grow. I would like us to look at this is the nature of the uterus, or this is the structure of the uterus. And we just mentioned that women are vulnerable to many gynecological illnesses that are associated with the anatomical and physiological characteristics of their body. Maybe just because of the makeup, just the way women are made. This makes them prone to a lot of anatomical and gynecological illnesses. So we would want to go to the next slide. It is worth mentioning that some of the gynecological issues that women go through are things like endometrium inflammation, pelvic inflammation, cervical erosion, adnexitis, and maybe some of those terms, it is important for us to mentioned a term like adnexitis. This is the inflammation of the ovaries or the fallopian tubes, which in the long run may cause infertility. You have had also women who suffer from fibroids. You have, and finally, we have what you have mentioned, that is cervical cancer. And but again, it is worth mentioning that with timely and correct treatment, an inflammatory process may terminate. Otherwise, cicatricial changes occur in the tissues, adhesions, and hyperplasia, and the disease may become chronic. A prolonged course and frequent exacerbations of the inflammatory diseases of the internal sex organs often entail disturbance of childbearing and menstruation. Inattentiveness of gynecological illnesses could result in cancer of female reproductive system. Therefore, what we say is that the uterus deserves some special care and attention. So how do you take care of the uterus? Number one, avoid products that contain xenoestrogen. Number two, avoid having multiple sexual partners. Three, women should eat plenty of cold water fish that are rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Number four, they should exercise their pelvic muscles regularly. Number five, avoid using birth control pills for an extended periods of time. Number six, avoid using birth control pills. I think I've just mentioned they should avoid using birth control pills for an extended period of time. And it is also good to have a clean sexual partner. Um, the other thing that women could do in order to take care of the uterus, remember we say that it is the woman's palace. So is that women should not hold their urine for long. Those who smoke, they should quit smoking. They should maintain a healthy body weight. So it's good to exercise regularly. And just like I mentioned, it is good to eat healthy. Keep your lower abdomen warm. Have a nutritious breakfast with some whole grain. Don't sit for too long. And women are also advised to pay attention to their vaginal discharge just to get to know when it changes, and they should also improve their immunity. I want us to move on to the next slide, and here we are. We want to talk about the Greenwald uterus cleansing pill. And remember, what we are discussing is part of the best, some of the best medicine from Chinese traditional medicine. And may I just mention that the uterus cleansing pill is composed of 13 traditional Chinese herbs. 13. So maybe that qualifies to what we call a powerhouse. So we have 13, and we are just going to discuss some of them, and we are going to discuss them because they actually have a lot of good in them. So it is composed of 13 traditional Chinese herbs that include Fructus sinaidi, Rhizoma similaris, China, Rhizoma schwarzschild, Hamalunari, Ladix stemoni, Ladix agerica sinensis, and Borneo. They assist the body in improvement of the gynecological problems such as endometrium inflammation, cervical erosion, pelvic inflammation, and then anxiety or adnexitis, which is just mentioned, is the inflammation of the ovaries as well as the fallopian tubes. I want also to mention, and I think we're just going to go to just a few of the components of the uterus cleansing pill. And one of those components we said is fructus, it's an ID, And what are the uses of this? It helps in control of the infections and prevent symptoms that are associated with symptoms. That is one. It may also help in improving fertility among men and women. This is in relation to its effect in improving libido levels. And three, it disperses cold and dry dampness that are considered as pathogenic factors which cause gynecological diseases according to um, Chinese traditional medicine. I would like to go to the next. I would like to go to the next product or component. This is Rhizoma similacis, China. This one is important and a very important component in the uterus cleansing field because it prevents gynecological diseases, especially the gynecological infections. It has also long been used in major medicine for treatment of syphilis since ancient times. So just in case the woman could be suffering from some STIs and STDs like syphilis, so the rhizoma similacis China is responsible for the treatment of syphilis. Then with neutral medicinal properties, it is able to help the constitution get cool and cold. And what is cold, it is able to balance that to make it warm. Many gynecological disorders are related to menstruation, which can affect women's physique. And therefore, in turn, the poor physique affects menstruation. Rhizoma similacis China is helpful for recuperation of the females. So the other product that is found in uterus cleansing pill is what we call rhizoma xianxing. It is xianxing or xianxing. And what is the responsibility of rhizoma xianxing? It invigorates blood and moves the qi. That is the qi. And the meaning of qi is vital life force. Qi means vital life force or flowing vital energy. There are times when you feel that you don't have the energy, probably because of bacterial infection. And therefore, what you're saying is that on using the uterus cleansing pill, this invigorates the body and moves the chi, and we are saying that it is the most effective hub for all blood and chi status patterns. And stasis patterns is where we create stability in terms of blood. For gynecological disorders like dysmenorrhea, I'll be explaining what dysmenorrhea is. Dysmenorrhea is painful cramps. So such problems as dysmenorrhea, such problems as amenorrhea. Amenorrhea is the absence of menstruation, difficult labor, postpartum abdominal pain, and retained lochia. So in cases of such problems, that's when the uterus cleansing pill comes in handy. So women will give birth and they will have what you call postpartum abdominal pain. And they are known to use a lot of ineffective products and or substances. And therefore, that is why we advise women who have just given birth to use the uterus cleansing or Greenwald uterus cleansing pill. The other component is what we call herbal inuli. This is used for various symptoms that are caused by blood stasis, such as amenorrhea. I've just mentioned that amenorrhea is the absence of menstruation. There are those women who go for a long time without receiving their menses, and therefore we have a cure for them. And you're saying, why? Why is this so? This is because of blood or stasis. Others will say that they go through very painful cramps that we are calling dysmenorrhea, and also the painful postpartum abdominal stagnant pain. And the compound that we are calling herbal linuli is therefore capable or responsible of dealing with the dysmenorrhea, amenorrhea, and postpartum abdominal pain. We have radix stamina or staminol. This is also the product that is, or a component in uterus cleansing pill that is responsible for killing parasites. And these are parasites that cause Trichomonas vaginitis. And we are saying it is used singly or combined with other herbs to kill parasites and relieve itching by later after sitting on a bath or even washing externally. So we have this herb that is responsible for treatment or killing of the parasites that cause itching in the vagina. We also have, maybe we would want to talk about the benefits of Greenwald uterus cleansing pill. Um, Maybe first of all, I would want to mention the benefits. I think I will be outlining them in a language that all of us can understand. Number one, it cleanses. It kills and inhibits the pathogenic microorganisms that cause gynecological disorders like colpitis, cervical erosion, dysmenorrhea, amenorrhea, difficult labor, postpartum abdominal pain, and retained lochia. But in a language, again, that we can understand, the benefits of um, Greenwald uterus cleansing pill are that one, it relieves, you have just said it cleanses, maybe I should be saying number two. Number two, it relieves chronic inflammatory conditions such as vulvitis, vaginitis, and cervical erosion. So when this product is used, we have it here. I'll be showing you, I'll be demonstrating in a little while. When it is used, it instantly relieves discomfort such as burning, stinging, rawness, irritation, and pain of the female private parts. Number three, it safely improves irregular menstruation. He had just talked about the amenorrhea, and therefore, when one uses the Greenwald uterus cleansing pill, even when the menses had disappeared, they will come back and they will be restored, and therefore, the possibility of having regular periods happens. So, we have said it reduces the risk of uterine cancer. Having noted that this is the seventh type of cancer that women suffer from, and the second that women suffer from when they are below 44 years, then it is important for us to advise or to use advise our sisters, our mothers, and our relatives to constantly and once in a while use the uterus cleansing pill so that we can reduce the risk of uterine cancer. It also helps cure the menstrual problems such as heavy periods, pain during menstruation, and premenstrual syndrome. It improves fertility, increases bladder capacity, removes toxins from our bodies that can lead to various health conditions such as headaches, fatigue, and constipation. It strengthens the immune system by removing harmful bacteria from the uterus lining. So it removes the harmful bacteria that are around the lining of the uterus. It also helps in the tightening of the vagina, therefore increasing sexual desire and fertility. Who can use the uterus cleansing pill? The uterus cleansing pill is very suitable for women who suffer from a condition that we call endometriosis. So if you go to the hospital and the doctor has diagnosed you with endometriosis, then the uterus cleansing pill is for you. It is also very good for those women who are suffering from pelvic inflammation diseases or what we call PIDs. It is also very good for those who suffer from fibroids or fibroids and ovarian cysts. Again, it is good for those suffering from chronic female infections such as candidiasis. It is good for those who have irregular menstruation or suffer irregular menses, those in menopause, or those who are suffering what we call ovarian degradation, women with cysts and cervical cancer, those with vaginal discharges and blocked fallopian tubes, then also those who suffer from itchy body bacterial vaginitis, yeast infection, and ovarian cyst. Probably you've gone to the hospital and you have been diagnosed with those the yeast infection or ovarian cyst, bacterial vaginitis, and therefore the uterus cleansing pill is a solution for you. Again, we are saying that it reduces the risk of cancer. It reduces the risk of endometrial cancer and cervical cancer. How? Through controlling chronic inflammations, as well as ovarian cancer through balancing of the female hormones. I think those are two uses which I think it is worth noting. We have just mentioned that women may suffer lesions, they may suffer um, inflammations, and these inflammations, if left untreated, then they result in cervical cancer. At the same time, we are saying that we have had issues of women hormonal imbalances, and therefore the risk of cancer due to inflammation or hormonal imbalances is reduced by the use of the Greenwald uterus cleansing pill. It also regulates menstruation, that it relieves dysmenorrhea, those are painful cramps, menorrhagia, which is heavy bleeding, amenorrhea, which is also absence of menstruation, oligomenorrhea, which is the light or infrequent menstruation, and premenstrual syndrome. I think we did mention, because of the woman's body, just the way we are created, women suffer from quite a number of conditions. I think you just mentioned that those who have painful cramps, let me just use the normal and the simpler language, that is painful cramps, those who suffer from heavy bleeding, those who suffer from absence of menstruation, those who suffer from light or very light or even very infrequent menstruation, and even those who suffer from premenstrual syndrome. The Greenwald uterus cleansing pill is here, and it is for you, and therefore Greenwald has your back. How do you use the uterus cleansing pill? I want to demonstrate, maybe I just want to show what I'm talking about is this. This is the uterus cleansing pill, or the Greenwald uterus cleansing pill. And we have the pill here, and we call them the women's pearls because it actually looks like a pearl. I think I would like to just warn us that this one is not for, you don't swallow. You don't swallow. It's just a pearl, and this is how you use it. We have just mentioned that you should clean your vagina and wipe it up. You use the disposable finger cut to push the capsule into the depth of your vagina and leave the threads out. We have the threads here. We have said that this is the pearl, and this is what you push right inside the vagina. You you push it deeply right inside the body. This pearl is supposed to be left there or left in the body for between 48 and 72 hours. That is between 2 days and 3 days. We are saying that you should not exceed the 72 hours that we have just mentioned. It is also good to use your pad where you let the body expel the toxins within the next 24 to 48 hours, because there will be the body will be expelling and the toxins, and therefore probably it is good to use a pad. You should remove the pill on the third day, then insert another one or another tampon after 24 hours. And it is good for maybe, I'm sure our listeners are curious. They would like to know whether there are any known side effects for using this pearl. So there are no known side effects for using the pearl. However, I think I would like to put some caution here. So this is caution. This one is for external use only. It should not be swallowed. It is for external use only. It should not be used for by virgins or pregnant women. It should not be used by virgins and pregnant women. It should not be used during menstruation and lactation. It should not be used during menstruation and lactation. It should not be used before the postpartum lochia is cleared. So after birth, we are saying that just before the postpartum lochia is cleared, then this is not to be used. It should also not be used before blood discharge is cleared after abortion. It should not be used before the blood discharge is cleared after abortion. It cannot take place of medicine. It cannot take place of medicine in case someone is suffering from STIs and STDs. Remember, we say that it is used for cleaning the uterus, and it is not for treating STIs and STDs, and therefore those suffering from STIs and STDs should visit a physician. One should not have intercourse while using this product. One should not have intercourse while using this product. Um, so remember, we are saying that our uterus is not a house of sin and shame. Rather, it's a place, it's a palace, and which is supposed to be a house, and that is supposed to house our innate ability to create life. We are saying that it should not be taken as a house of sin. It should not be taken as a house of sin and shame. It is a palace. And the reason why it is a palace, it is because we use the uterus to nurture life, and it is the ability and the gift that God has given us in order for us to create new life. We have our product here in our shop. I've just shown you, I've just demonstrated. This is the uterus cleansing pill. So just in case you have had all those issues, and even for those who may want to prevent cervical cancer, arrest cervical cancer before it happens. So this is the go-to product. We will demonstrate. We will show you how to use it, and let us cut and reduce the risks of cancer or cervical cancer for all the women. Remember, we're saying that of all the other cancers, because cervical cancer is slow, then it means that it is treatable and it is preventable. So our women don't have to die from cervical cancer. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like and leave a comment. Um, Again, feel free to reach us on YouTube at Versatile Team, and Facebook again at Versatile Team. And you could still call us, could visit us, and we could have more discussion. Thank you and good